What's going on, drivers? Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper. And I am Old Snapper. I'm going to start doing videos when I load certain types of equipment, and I'm going to try to make them quick and to the point, because it sucks when you're trying to load this stuff, and some of this stuff you may or may not have ever driven, right? And you're sitting in the port. Some of the ports require you to load or unload it, and you're looking online trying to figure out how to operate this stuff, or you're playing with the buttons trying to figure out how to operate this stuff. I've done it. Sure, other flatbedders have done it as well. So I'm going to start making videos when I have time, when I load equipment, no matter how simple or complicated it is, just to kind of go over basic operations of it to make it easy for drivers to find when they're in a situation they're trying to figure out how to get something loaded wherever they're at, if they have to load or unload it themselves. I'll try to title these videos in such a way that it makes it easy and quick to find and to the point. Now let's get to it. Now this here's a Cat CP7. Loading these is not that difficult, but we're going to go over it. A lot of these compactors operate the same way, okay? This is the seat here, steering wheel. As you can see, there's a foot pedal down there. You go up on the foot pedal or lower on the foot pedal, it operates a blade. There's a blade up in the front. I got it sitting on a piece of wood. I'm going to show you in a minute. That's all that foot pedal operates. It doesn't go forward or back. You go forward and back with this knob right here. All right. First, you turn the parking brake off, and then you use this knob to go forward and back. And right here is your engine, whether you're in rabbit mode or turtle mode, just like a forklift. And if you just want to go a little bit forward, but not real fast, you just barely move it. It doesn't have a brake. The way the brake works on these rollers is when you come back to the middle, it stops right there. And then if you want to back up, you can move it back to back up. And then you steer just like you're steering with a car. You know, just steer regularly. It's a articulating piece of equipment, so the steering will be a little funny to you if you're not used to it, but you just ease up onto the trailer. Now that's the basics of how to operate it. Now when you go to secure it, of course it's got a diagram there for the crane. You see that red pin there. Almost all Cat equipment, every piece of Cat equipment I've ever used has a red pin. Before you move this piece of equipment, when you pick it up, you want to make sure that pin is up. But before you take off, you want to make sure that pin is down. DOT law, all articulating equipment has to be locked in place. When the pin is down, it's locked in place. There's a few different ways to secure this type of equipment. I'm just going to show you how I do it. I always like exiting it. Every chance I get, I exit. Now, if those two chains touch, which they're almost touching, but if those two chains touch, you have to have something in the middle right there, which I'll probably add something there. But I always exit in the back. One thing Catipiler does is they'll mark their anchorage points. They got a sticker that tells you right where to put your chains. You know, I always try to keep from scratching it. They expect a little bit of scratching just from things rubbing against it and stuff like that. They usually have touch-up kits at their Catipiler locations, but you still want to keep from tearing it up. And then the way I did the front, it's a little bit of overkill. This here weighs more than 10,000 pounds. All equipment weighing more than 10,000 pounds has to have 4 direct tie downs. So I got a direct tie down here, same on the other side. And then this right here is just an extra. It comes over here to this bucket. Some companies will allow you to throw a strap across it, whatever. Anything that can move has to be secured as well. This is a little bit of overkill. Now, I'm in Pennsylvania, so I have to have a chain on it regardless. Pennsylvania is the only state in the country, but they require a chain. Every other state in the country will let you throw a strap across that. Same thing with a bucket or anything else. They'll let you throw a strap across it. What gets a lot of people when they load equipment is them mirrors. You want to make sure that mirror is on the inside of your rub rail. If any part of that equipment is sticking out, then it becomes oversized. Same thing with the stacks. When you measure these things, sometimes they'll have a stack coming up the side. Your tallest point on that piece of equipment is what you need to measure when you measure from there down to the ground to get your height. And lastly, drivers, if you're hauling wheeled equipment, you want to keep an eye, because wheeled equipment will sometimes move a little bit on you, and you might have to adjust the way you're securing it, maybe do something a little bit different. But you always want to keep an eye on wheeled equipment. Some drivers don't like hauling it because it tends to wobble on you a little bit back and forth. But that's pretty much it, drivers. That's the basics to loading one of these. If you know how to drive that, you can load this equipment. And of course, I always put a piece of wood where my bucket comes down. Try to put something there if I have something, just to keep it from digging into the deck. There you go, drivers. Quick and to the point. Hope you are able to get enough from it to be able to load it if you need to load it, or unload it if you need to unload it. It's pretty simple. And a lot of rollers operate the same way as this one here does. Y'all take care, stay safe, and keep trucking. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you're flatbedding out here, because like I said, anytime I got a chance and I've loaded equipment, I'm going to try to do one of these videos that's quick and to the point about that piece of equipment to help you guys out. Y'all take care.